Such a good boy.
He's being an asshole right now.
All right, and we are rolling, and I forgot to set something up. There we go, right there. So, hey everyone, welcome back to the next exciting chapter of The Song of the Wilds. What was all
My
that?
finger.
My finger points.
Whooplo, you must be careful. Your
No.
confidence is-
We're not gonna be just reciting Kung Pao this session. As much as I would love to.
No, Oliver just pounced on my finger and clawed it.
Aww. So, for those of you just joining us, The Song of the Wilds is my completely original homebrew, though I did draw some inspiration from things here and there. And the people around me in the Zoom chat are the poor schmucks who thought it'd be a good idea to play a game with me.
I
Over-
think up points.
kind of giving a little introduction to everyone. Over here is Liam, who plays our half-orc bard, Dath.
Hello, everyone.
Woo!
Right next to me here is our lovely, and ever lovable Sabrina, who plays our chaotic element, Malice.
Yeah.
Yay.
Right below here
Oh God,
is
what are you trying to do?
right below me is going with the double whammy and sharing a screen here is both our nice and lovely Kara and Stridar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, over here is my lovely wife, Carly, who plays Lorelai.
Waifu.
I couldn't remember if it was Lorelai or Cassandra, and you just forgot to change your name from Bane of the
No, I
Wayward.
changed it.
Okay.
I
Fix.
fix.
Now that being said,
Break high fix.
I fix.
now that being said, though, unfortunately, our lovely Dory, who plays Fidelma, our gnome, is unfortunately running a little late. But that's okay. This session is going to be very low impact. It's going to be a bunch of role playing and story building. Now that being
Did
said,
we level up last session?
I believe I said you all did.
I think we
Cool,
did,
great.
yeah.
I
I
will change
don't
that.
remember.
I couldn't remember, so I didn't touch it.
What level are we supposed to be at?
4. We started at 3.
Let me.
Yeah.
Yep, level 4. Oh, Carly, you're already leveled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so you're all fine.
Cool.
Now moving right along, I will open this up to some announcements. I will take the first slot of announcements for myself. I quit my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I currently am working on I'm working on a very promising job offer. Now that being the case, though, the job offer itself doesn't necessarily start until next week, not this coming week. So I have a whole week off before my new job starts. So that is going to be spent just detoxing from my last job. Now that being said, though, does anyone else have any other announcements? Yes, Carly.
In the same job that Evan used to be at, I'm doing great. Which is
Yay.
fortunate for me. And I made over $2,000 by myself this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And I am so proud of you.
I apologize, Evan, that it didn't work out for you the way it did for me.
Yeah.
Why did you sound like Microsoft Sans right there? So proud of you.
Moving right along, do we have any other announcements?
I mean, I think Leah and I have announcements since last time we played. Do we have some announcements? I can't remember. Well, I guess some announcements are since the last time we played, we have a venue, we have a florist, we have a date for the
Woo!
wedding, we have we actually took our engagement pictures this last weekend, so those will be coming out soon.
Aw.
Love it.
Yeah. Most, all the groomsmen and most of the bridesmaids have been asked. And
I'm gonna be an usher.
you are going to be an usher.
Uh-huh.
And trying to think if we have anything else. Oh, we
I
got a
wanna be a
photographer.
dentist. Sorry.
We got a photographer,
Mhm.
and we are closing in on a caterer.
Very nice.
All right, that is certainly going to be exciting. One more time. Do we have any other announcements?
I wanna be a dentist.
No, man.
What was that?
That was like-
Did you just have a stroke for a second?
No, I said I want to be a dentist really quietly. I think Liam was the only one that actually heard me because then he started singing, "So be a dentist."
Oh my god. All right. Last call. Are there any other little announcements? All right. That
Sabrina's got a cute kitty.
Sabrina
He's being
does.
a jerk.
He's being a jerk.
Well, of
Yeah,
course.
look
he's-
at that. Look, they can see you being a jerk. Now you're on camera.
Oh, shoot.
Good. Now I have an audience.
Yeah, that's basically what this is.
An
He's-
audience for my
he-
violence.
He's trying to find every single part of me he can to bite.
Aw.
Yes, that's about right. When you have an adolescent boy cat.
Yep.
All right. Well, if that is.
Squirmy man.
Sit. Sit. Okay.
Oh goodness.
All right. Well, if that is going to be it, then let us finally continue with the Song of the Wilds, Chapter 8, Spoils.
Oh, I thought we were skipping this week. No, I'm kidding, Josh.
Not again.
No mas.
Carly, sweetie, love of my life.
Stop.
For now.
I'm gonna smother you with a pillow. Stop it.
Oh dear lord, that went real dark real quick.
Look
It'd
at
be,
this face. Even the lights reflect the evil.
it'd be becoming one flew over the cuckoo's nest all up in here.
Right? Jesus.
That's it. Stop it.
Oh shit! She actually did it.
Don't
can see your
smother the
face.
kitty.
He's fine. He can breathe. He just can't bite now.
Yeah, but still, to an extent, we didn't know you were serious.
Are you done? Okay.
Cat diary, day number 365. The lights begin to flash before my eyes.
Yeah. Flashing lights like Dana got this the other day.
Ooh, Carly, look at that.
Hold on, Carly.
on
I
mute.
got something awesome for you.
Carly, you're on mute.
Oh, it looks like space.
Yeah, it's the galaxy, some galaxy thing. It also plays goes to music too.
See, I want one of those. I want one of those so freaking bad. Oh, that's purity.
Here we go.
So nice. Evan, I want one of those.
We'll get it after we continue with the songs of the wilds.
The Song of the Wilds, Chapter 8, Spoils.
Evan, I want one of those.
Carly, stop.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great night,
You
everyone.
with the pillow.
bold of you to assume it will be him.
Oh shit. Rachel just comes out of nowhere. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Pretty much.
Damn.
She loves me. I love her, but we do drive each other's crazy.
Can we get started now?
Nice guess.
Oh no, you don't guess. You don't get to guess. Song of the Wilds, Chapter 8, Spoils.
I've missed this music. So
Where we last left off our group of intrepid hunter warriors, simply known as They Still Have Yet to Think of a Name. After some executive decisions by Strider, they decided to take their first hunt that took them out into the desert region of the island they call home. After some tracking and some strange encounters with other bullet creatures, they are able to find their quarry, a much bigger bullet. Through some very impressive teamwork and usage of traps, they were able to slay their mark and take the spoils back to the city of Acheron within the mountain that lies within the center of the island of home. Turning it in, as well as their quest, they were given a quest reward of 500 gold total to be divided amongst each other. After that, to kind of celebrate their very first successful hunt together, we will see what happens here, and that, dear viewers, is where we leave off. So, group of intrepid hunter warriors who still have yet to think of a name. That is too loud. There we go.
That's our new name. That is too loud.
that's it. We have decided we are too loud.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You have successfully turned in your quest, gotten your gold, and turned in the creature remains to Old Joe, who is the mysterious Greyblade smithy who works in the back, and he never goes in, and he never comes out. That being said,
Wait, no, hold on, wait. That
No.
didn't make sense grammatically.
no, we're moving on now.
So is
You
he
don't
like
make sense
the
grammatically.
blacksmith in Elden Ring?
Your mom is grammatically.
Yeah.
Your mom uses Grammarly.
My mom was actually an English major.
Oh.
So
No wonder
suck
you
on
noticed that and nobody else did.
it.
All right. Hunters, warriors, Greyblade members. Most of you are. Some of you are still being stubborn little assholes.
I
Yeah,
said
you
last session I wanted to be a Greyblade.
You did,
Yeah.
yes. You were given an official badge for it.
I was basically conscripted.
You were, yes, because of Elma. And speaking of Elma, she just kind of steps away from the crew, and she just kind of looks at you all and just goes, "Listen, that was definitely." I can't do her voice. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can't do her voice.
That was actually pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
not bad,
Very
actually.
well.
That's not bad.
But I'm going to take a nap. Just someone come get me from the restaurant I work at, the Wolf's Claw. And I'll be there taking a nap. Just come by if you need me for something. And she steps away from the crew. That is how
Bye,
we're gonna...
Paloma. Have a great day.
Boy, Stry!
Buddy boy, come here.
Oh boy. All right.
Okay.
Reset, Miss Nixon.
All right. That being said, though,
Pimples got so big.
the rest of you with some new gold in your pockets. It's not a lot because that 500 has to be divvied amongst all of you. That being said, though, the day is yours. What do you all wish to do?
The joy is mine. I will take the anal bum cover for 500. That's album cover, Mr. Connery.
Alright,
That's
alright,
not- I
alright.
know which it is, Trebek. I just want to know, does it work?
Or my personal favorite. No, I can't say that on stream. We will get like
No,
banned.
you cannot.
You all know which one is my favorite.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is there anybody like around that's an authoritative member of the Grey Blades?
Roll me a perception check.
I got a 6.
You look around, Lorelei, and unfortunately, you don't really see anyone that seems to stick out to you. I mean, everyone else
Are
that...
we still with the group?
Yeah, you're all still together. You haven't
Okay.
dispersed yet, and you're still inside, like, the check-in lobby of the guild.
I'm gonna walk over to Strider, and I'm just gonna, like, kind of like a child, tug on his sleeve, even though I think I'm taller than him.
You are.
And I'm just gonna say, can I go home? Or do I have to stay here now that I'm part of your clan?
You have a home?
I do.
I do.
Strider just kind of like looks at Lorelei and just goes, I mean, you. Actually, one quick question to the DM before I respond.
Yes.
Do the Grey Blades technically like have a barracks where like those that may not have a home can like stay in like the barrack-like area, or?
Yes. I don't need you to roll a history check for this because
Yeah.
for all Grey Blades, this is common knowledge. Yes,
Yeah.
the guild itself does house its own committed building right next to it, which is basically its dorm for all of their
Yeah.
troops that don't necessarily have a home. Now, some troopers, some hunters and some warriors and what have you, they do have homes throughout the city. Some choose to just continuously keep camping out into the wilderness outside of Acheron. And for those in between who don't really have a place to go home to, but they want to stay in a nice, secure space, the guild does provide housing. It's limited, though.
Yeah. So Strider will look at Lorelei, who tugged on his sleeve, and just go, well, I mean, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to go to your home. I mean, there are beds here for those that want to stay in the city, but you know, there's those of us kind of like myself that kind of just, sleep wherever we can find a place. If you want to go back to your home, you can, or you can stay here in the barracks, or, just kind of wherever you are most comfortable. I think Kara's, like Uncle said, we could even stay at his place. So, I mean, it's kind of wherever you want to stay.
I think for right now, I stay. But the city is too crowded for me. So after this, I go back to the jungle.
Oh, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to stay at Kara's uncle's place because that bedroom was really nice. I love that jacuzzi.
It was very nice. It was nice to have a bathtub.
Really?
What do you do here when you're not doing a quest?
I mostly just mind my own business.
DM, did you mind if I ask a question of Lorelei over here real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go for
Go right ahead. You don't need my permission for that.
No. It's more of asking her to do a roll.
Oh!
Okay.
What kind of role do you have planned? Let me know if it first, and I'll let you know if it's good or not.
It's just a perception roll.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah.
If it's just a simple perception, go right ahead.
Oh, it's just a simple one because I want to kind of want to
Oh,
respond
shit.
correctly.
I got a dirty 20, motherfucker.
You see even underneath all that beard hair that Strider
Blood and
has,
guts from the.
then the blood and guts are still all over him.
Oh yeah. All of you are still completely covered in blood and guts.
Oh yeah, exactly. And Strider plans on just taking his armor off and just being in traveler's clothes afterwards, so that way his armor can get stained with the blood because he wants it to be red from here on out to kind of like that mark of victory. He's gonna kind of watch
Yeah.
it the next day, but he's letting it kind of kick in. But you see underneath
Tell
all
the
this
bullets
blood.
what you saw. Sorry.
That's right. But even underneath all of that, you can tell that the difference of the red between the blood and the red of him blushing. And he goes, you know,
Why
I
is he
stay in the
blushing?
city and I just do certain things. And you see Zephyr just kind of like look at Stridar and look at Lorelei and with his little claws do like air quotes.
your lady, is she here?
Yes, she is here in the.
That's why you're blushing.
I am not blushing. And
You
Zephyr just
blushing.
looks at
Stridar,
Lorelei
Stridar,
rolls-
I need you to roll me deception.
Oh, I wasn't even trying to be really that deceptive, but I will do that if you're asking me to. It was not a hard deception. No, that is a 10, so basically it goes with what I planned on doing anyways. You can tell that he's a little embarrassed, but yes, you see Zephyr just look at Stridar and then look at you, Lorelei, and Zephyr just rolls his eyes, just like, ugh.
What
It's
do
the
you-
lemming.
What do you and your lady do?
Each other.
Oh.
Dirty.
They
Do
do
you
it.
do it?
They do it.
Wait. Did Malice actually say that?
Yes.
And she looks at Malice and looks back at Stridar. Oh. I mean, is okay.
Well, now hold on. Liam, what did you say? You were saying
I'm
something. You
sorry,
got cut
Liam.
off.
Well,
That's
I
my
was
bad.
just making a joke as Liam, where I said they do as the animals do.
Oh.
Strider just goes, well, we actually go. Sometimes we'll go hunting, and sometimes we will.
Hunting we will go. Sorry.
Hunting we will go. Yeah, exactly. CC, you understand. And sometimes we'll go fishing. Sometimes we will. Zephyr just go. They will go on picnics, and then they will hold hands. And sometimes they walk down by the beach, and they'll look at the stars. And then you see Strider just put his hand over Zephyr's mouth and just go, "Shut up."
Wait. Wait. Zethar can talk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a reminder, though Zethar is 5, that's just humanoid years. And dragon years, he has the intelligence of a 25-year-old human. And
So none at
can't
all.
talk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Based off of what D&D basically says, that he pretty much has the intelligence of someone who graduated with at minimum a bachelor's, if not a master's degree from a college in whatever field they study.
And I can't use it!
Pretty much,
see.
my life.
I see. Friedrich and I used to sit on the roofs of buildings and watch we watched the moon.
Oh, the moon is very, very lovely. Now, I think I need to go utilize Kara's uncle's place and get washed up because things up. Hey, stop that.
Wait, after he runs away, Lorelai just goes, I didn't get to tell him about the rats.
Chivas. The rats go marching one by one. Hurrah. Hurrah.
All right. So again, just a little reminder: the day is yours. So if you wish to try it and do take care of anything before the day is up, you have the freedom and a little bit of possible funds to do so.
Do I see anybody that works there?
Judging by your last perception check, pretty much everyone in this lobby is a Greyblade, and then you have the obvious, like, receptionist people, and you can pick them out because they all wear different uniforms.
Okay.
That being said, though, the actual, like, active duty members of the Greyblades, they all wear, like, adventuring gear of different styles here and there. So it's kind of impossible to tell which one is, like, the actual authority member, especially with the
Gotcha.
perception that you rolled.
I'm gonna walk up to one of the receptionist people and try to find a bath because I'm in a building and
All
It's a
right.
communal bath. It's very Greek. So,
or a shower. I don't even know if showers exist in this universe.
Unfortunately, not actual showers, but
Yeah.
there are, like, the magical baths that you all had back at Kara's uncle's place at Voight's Manor. Now that being said, though, Lorelai, you walk up to one of the receptionists. This one is an Owlin, and he's a short little, like, barn owl Owlin, and he just has on these giant glasses that make his eyes look 10 times as big. And he's just, like, stumbling with some papers, and his wings are, like, fluttering for him to keep balancing. He goes like, oh my, you're very tall. Yes, how can I help you?
Yes, I am quite tall. Looking for a bath or a place where I can wash off.
Oh, a place where you can wash off. Well, let me see here. Do you currently have any lodgings here?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? I'm sorry. When did you become a member?
Like, she like looks at her fingers. Like 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Oh. All right, very well. Well, if that is the case, would you like to register for lodgings here with the
I
Greyblade Guild
don't need
itself?
lodgings. I live in Forest.
And he's quite shocked by this.
really, the owl is shocked by this? Okay.
Who?
That I will not stand for this racism against my kind.
How many
Oh, damn,
licks does it
okay,
take to get
shit.
the center of Tootsie Pop?
You shut the fuck up, you half-orc!
This escalated so fast. I just
Damn.
All of a sudden, this tiny owl just pulls out like a shank.
Lord.
That's right, we're doing this with prison rules.
You're about to be my bitch.
Presence rules, bitch.
That's right, prison rules. Cyrus hasn't eaten for days. I want the one in the middle.
Me too.
Wow, that's an old reference. Holy shit.
It's one of my favorites. Me and Evan still do that every once in a while. We'll just quote that. Love it.
All right. Okay, so you are just needing a spare bath then. Okay, so if you are not looking for lodgings, then I can definitely direct you to the springs here, to the public springs. Let me see here, and he takes out a
so
parch.
it's like a river.
Oh, no, it's not a river. It's an underground cave that you walk to. It's part of the city itself, and inside this giant room are just a bunch of little pools filled with naturally heated water.
Okay.
Uh,
So
that,
it's a heated river.
well, no, there's no water moving from A to B. Never mind. All right, and he writes down. He draws like a little map on how to get there from the Greyblades Guild, and he hands it to you.
Okay.
Will that be all, Miss? What is your name?
Lorelai, what is your name?
Huntington. My name is Huntington.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Huntington.
It's nice to meet you too, Mistress Lorelei. Please enjoy your bathing. Is that what they say? Please enjoy
I
your
will
time.
enjoy my wash. And she just walks away.
Oh dear, she's a weird one. What? So Lorelei is going off to do her own thing in the Springs. What is everyone else gonna do?
I
guess-
guess I'm going back to her uncle's to
Hold
take
on,
a bath.
Okay, hold on. Dath was the one I could catch speaking first, so.
I would like to go to the library.
All right. Let's see. The Library of the Greyblades themselves, or the.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you walk up to one of the receptionists, and they give you just general directions. The library is located on one of the upper floors. So you're directed there. Takes only about like 3 minutes to walk there. The library itself is not really all that huge, but it is a dedicated space where the Greyblades themselves have basically published their own research notes and other findings through many, many years of just constant work as the guild protecting and maintaining this island. It's not like an actual library with a bunch of like fiction, non-fiction, and a bunch of stories to go for. This library is basically just the collected knowledge of all Greyblades all in a single place.
All right. Is there a librarian?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You spy this one little kobold who is wearing the same type of uniform as like the receptionist. You kind of get the idea that if you're a member of the Greyblades but you're not like an active duty member, then you're basically just working around the actual guild itself, and it all requires that they wear these very signature uniforms, so you can easily pick them out in a crowd. This one kobold is basically pulling this cart of what looks like a bunch of very shoddily made makeshift leather-bound journals, and he's just like, he grabs a ladder on a shelf and he's like grabbing a bunch of books and he's like putting them away, and he's like making little like grumbly noises as he does so. He doesn't seem to notice that you're here yet.
I go over and I say, excuse me.
Ah! Yeah! And he like looks around for a moment, then he looks down at you. Ah! New member! And he climbs down this ladder and he walks up to you. He's only about knee-high to you.
All right. You were right the first time.
New member. See from badge. What you need?
What I need is anything you have on the 4 great beasts.
Archbeast. Yes, have many notes and papers about that. And he like scurries over to this giant countertop, and you can see at this counter is a giant book, and you realize that this book is how the librarian basically makes note of what everything is and where everything is. And like you see him like flip a whole bunch of pages in super rapid high speed, and you just hear him mumbling to himself like, new member needs archbeasts. Archbeast. Archbeast. Dedicated section. 3 left. 3 over.
All right. How long am I allowed to hold on to the books?
1 day. Be sure to return them tomorrow, or at least let us know that you are holding them on for 1 more day.
All right. I take any of the books I can, basically.
All right, roll me a perception check.
All right.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me ask you this. Which do you have a greater modifier in, perception or investigation?
Definitely investigation.
Roll me an investigation check, then.
All right. That would be a 9.
All right, a 9. The good news is, with this particular kind of check, A low number doesn't mean a failure. It just means you weren't really able to find anything that really poked out to you. With a 9, however, you were able to secure like 2 dedicated research notes that are committed to like holding information about the archbeasts themselves. Is there a specific piece of information that you are looking for, or are you just wanting general knowledge?
I was looking for more historical stuff about them.
Okay, then if that is the case, then because you have now these journals with you, roll me a second investigation check, this time with advantage.
All right.
Sabrina, are you having fun with your cat?
Yes, he's still being that like I want to play with you, so come play with me, or I'm gonna get into trouble.
That would be a 10.
All right, a 10. A 10 actually is not that bad in this case, especially considering that
Right.
you have these books with you. It was a very, very low DC.
That's good because my trash rolls are carrying over from last Damon Machina, it seems like. So
Ooh, we need someone to bless them.
yeah.
All right,
Next
so
time you come over, Liam, bring your dice and I'll sage them for you.
Thank you.
Next time you come to visit.
I think only as Casten do I get good rolls. So, you know.
all right. Well, with a 10, you basically are able to find a couple sections here and there about a dedicated history about the archbeasts. Some basic knowledge. There are 5 of them, just as what you saw from that year's end festival, like last time, where you saw them all come out in the open. They do their thing. Of course, that's when you remember that one of those archbeasts was behaving very erratically because it apparently saw one of its kind was slaughtered. You do know that these archbeasts all seem to have a very subtle yet powerful aura about them. It's something that the Grey Blades and its leading scientists have been studying for decades. And all they know is that whatever this aura is, it is what basically keeps all of their presiding fauna in their respective sections of the island in check. Without the archbeasts, the local wildlife would basically intrude upon other sections where the environment is not right for them. Everything would become invasive species to each other, and basically it would throw the entire island into chaos. So essentially, these archbeasts are there to make sure that that doesn't happen. And there's also a very give and take relationship between the archbeasts and the people of Acheron. The archbeasts, by keeping the monsters in check, make sure that there's enough
You okay? Don't die on us.
Have you good? What just happened?
Oh,
Swallowed down the wrong pipe?
I threw up in my throat and it burns.
Oh, done that today.
Why is it that in every campaign I always get injured in some way? Like, it was the D20 to my balls. It was like... Yeah, you all remember when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Okay. As I was saying, the people of Acheron and the archbeasts have a give and take kind of relationship. The archbeasts, by making sure that all of the wildlife stays in order, it ensures that there are dedicated sections where there's good farmland, so that there's good produce for Acheron, and it also makes sure that there's committed game for hunting. Now that being said, though, in exchange, the Grey Blades also act as supplementary security to make sure all of the animals stay in check. And quite frankly, it's one of those relationships where as long as you don't bother the archbeasts, then they will leave you alone just fine. The archbeasts have a history of never acting aggressively unless they're provoked. There's only been a few recorded times in Acheron's history where a few or whole teams of hunters would get a little too big for their britches and try to hunt one of the archbeasts for some sense of glory, and they were wiped out. Like, in an instant. The archbeasts are massively powerful.
And what is it again that the Archbeast did at the celebration? I forgot.
Essentially, the archbeasts, like clockwork, have their own little ritual where at the end of every year, they all come out of their dwellings, and they basically roar in chorus with each other. And it's still not quite understood why they do that, but in history, people have been able to deduce that whenever they do this, it's always at the exact same time of year, and they've been able to detect this by figuring out that they roar whenever the constellations are in a very specific alignment up in the sky. And that's how Acheron was able to get its basically a sense of a calendar year calculated by using the Grey Beast's behavior.
All right.
What other things are you trying to find out?
Well, I was thinking, I mean, we can come back to me in a bit, but just to set up for what I might want to do is I would like to look at some of the criminal records of the Greyblades.
All right, not a problem. So we will get back to you in a moment, and when we get back, we'll have you have already found that research.
Okay.
Malice, what is it that you are doing in your free time?
Well, I'm pretty sure that nobody wants a hellhound in a communal pool or a community bath.
You don't know that.
They lit up the water, so only anybody that's either a tiefling immune to fire or anybody else that is immune to fire would be able to get in the water. So she and Fizzgig are yeah. So she and Fizzgig are going to go back to Kara's uncle's and take a bath there.
All right.
I'm pretty sure the smell of like burning flesh and guts on Fizzgig is probably pretty bad.
Oh yeah, it's bad. As you make your way to the elevator to take you to the upper floors, all of the general public of Acheron is giving you a very wide berth.
Yeah.
Now, we will continue with you in a moment, but because you mentioned that you were heading to Voight's Manor, Kara and Strider, are you guys there?
Probably.
Okay. You guys are heading to Voight's Manor as well, right?
While you
Correct.
guys do this, I'll be right back. I need to put something in the fridge.
No problem. Strider and Kara, you both were heading back to Voight's place. Is that correct?
No, oh yeah, Strider was going there. He's going to take a bath and change into clean clothes and go back out into the town.
All right. All right. So, Strider, you're the first one to arrive at the manor. You're welcomed by the Furbolg butler, Rathers, who gives you like a very polite bow. Ah, Master Strider, it's very nice to have you here. Will you be dining with us today?
That all depends on how things work out. If you catch my drift.
If you catch my cold.
I'm not sure I understand your young man's lingo.
I am going to get dressed. I'm going to go clean up and get dressed to look nicer, and then leave. And hopefully, if things work out well, I may be returning later tonight after dinner.
All right, very well. I do believe you
You could have just said that, douchebag, but whatever, that's fine.
All right, then. Well, if that is the case, do make yourself at home. Once again, I do believe you remember where your room was.
Oh yes, the one with the nice hot tub. And he just goes in there and you see Strider, like Seth on his shoulders, like, hot tub, hot tub, hot tub, hot tub.
Oh, young folk, always full of energy these days. All right, next up is Kara coming into the manor. Rathers greets you as well. Mistress Kara, how good of you returned. And oh my, you're just as bloody as the first one. Uh, what's happened now, though? I assume whatever it was you did was successful.
Yeah, we were successful, and I feel gross, and I need to bathe. But food sounds fantastic.
Very well. I'll make sure that the cooks know that we will be making a spot for one more this evening.
Perfect. Is my uncle in his study?
Oh, it's unfortunate that you ask that. Unfortunately, Master Voigt is not currently present at the time. He's been called to an emergency meeting by the city's authority. Nothing horrible. It seems that they just have some questions for him. I was told by the city guard that Voigt will be returning just before dinner, so I do believe it will only be about another half hour at the latest.
All right. I'll suppose we can talk then.
Oh, not a problem. If he comes before if I see him before you do, I'll make sure to let him know that his niece wishes to speak with him.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I will. I'll go get ready then, and
my pleasure. We will get back to Malice and the other two manor folk in a moment. We're actually going to be now returning to Lorelei. So, Lorelei, you finally make your way over to the hot springs section, which is the communal bathing area of Acheron. And it's this massive cavern room basically underneath the city itself. And throughout the entire floor space, which goes uphill and downhill in many different places, you see all of these small circular pools that are just filled with naturally bubbling hot water. No rivers, though. It's just pools.
Okay. I'm gonna get in and, well, first, obviously, because I know if I don't say this, you're gonna be like, oh, cool, so she gets in fully clothed. I'm going to look around, and I'm gonna take off all my grossness, and I'm gonna just get into the water.
All right. You do that. You get in the water. It's quite hot at first, but then you give it a moment, and it is just so relaxing. That being said, though, admittedly, it is not as relaxing as the hot bath that you had back at Voigt's Manor, because that was like an actual hot bath. This is a natural hot spring, but it feels very nice. Lorelei, I would like you to roll me a perception check.
Again?
Yes.
So many perception checks tonight.
How do you perceive the water?
I got a nat 20.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lorelei, as you are just there waiting in the water, your legs kind of float up a bit, you push him back down.
Nice reference.
You then hear behind you.
Don't like that.
And you look behind you, and you see what looks like a crab made out of a topaz, basically just kind of like scuttle up to your clothes, and is just like picking bits and pieces of your clothes off, and it's just like eating it, getting like the blood and the guts that are still on it.
Is that a homebrew? Is that a homebrew creature, or is that actually from D&D?
I don't know. I just thought of it on the fly because I like that design. But yeah,
That's kinda cool, actually,
But yeah, he's basically a gemstone crab. He's very tiny, and he's just like up at your clothes, just like yum 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 yum.
And she's just watching it. And then she's like, Okay.
Yeah, as it's eating, one of its eye stalks turns and faces you, and it just stops for a moment.
Says under the sea. All right.
It eats its next piece very slowly, and then and both eyes look at it as it's eating your clothes, and it's not
Wait,
like
is it damaging my clothes or is it eating stuff on my clothes?
it's damaging your clothes to get at the stuff that's on your clothes.
Hey! Hey! I'm gonna growl at it.
It scuttles away. All right. I'm sorry, Carly. That's really all I had planned. Just a cute little
That's
crab.
totally fine.
Just a cute little crab moment. Now that Malice is back, Malice.
Take your lamb. Take it.
Oh, good lamb.
Take it. Thank you. Okay.
Take it.
Oh my god. Not now, Evan.
No, it's one of those things like he'll bring it to me for me to play with it, and then he'll try and take it away.
Aww.
Dinah does that. And then she'll play fetch with us for like an hour. It's pretty.
He hasn't gotten the concept of fetch, but he's gotten the concept of if he brings something to me, I'll throw it, and then he'll play with it for hours, and then come back and bring it to me.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Anyway, Malice, you finally enter Voight's Manor, and Rathers turns to greet you, and then the moment he turns, Fizzgig, like, runs up to Rathers and is just, like, pawing at his legs and is, like, wanting to, like, lick his face, and you see Rathers looks like he's about to have a heart attack from the hellhound that is touching him.
It's bad.
Fizzgig, get down.
Fizzgig does get down, and he just kind of, like, walks over to you, like, I'm sorry, Mom.
We're
Mommy,
both covered
sorry.
in guts, and we both smell. Well, you smell the worst, so we're gonna go to the bath.
And Rathers, I'm sorry. Rathers just kind of, like, looks at you both still afraid, and he just says, your room is that way, as I recall.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure he'll point me in the direction.
And as if on cue, Fizzgig does lead you, Malice, to your room, and it's in the same place as before, and it's still stylized just as you remembered it, exactly to your inner desires.
Alright, so with that, we're just basically going to take a bath, and she's going to scrub the hell out of the hellhound.
All right. While you're doing that, because he was the first to enter the manor, we're now going to return to Strider. Josh?
Sorry, I had to unmute because someone muted us.
Oh.
Thank you. All right. That would be my lovely fiance muted us, and I had to try to unmute the thing while you said it. So
I got really confused. I was like, no, I don't think he did, but never mind.
All right. Well, Strider, since you were the first one to start bathing, you're the first one to exit his room. You are fully dressed. You are clean. Your hair is brushed and coiffed. And Zethar is looking especially shiny today.
yes, he is, and he takes his little claws and he licks them and pretends to do what men do the eyebrow thing, but he doesn't have any hair eyebrows, so he just does it just for the aesthetic.
He does both of his horns.
Yeah, this is the horns.
All right, so Strider, since you and Zethar were the first ones to get ready, what do you plan to do with the rest of the day before it ends?
We are going to go out into the city. We are going to try to get that necklace one more time. If not, we are still going to try to see if we can't find the lady out in the city.
All
No,
right.
that's my campaign. Sorry.
All right. Well, with that being said, give me just a moment. All right. So then, Strider, you and Zethar exit Voight's Manor, and you make your way down to the higher class shopping sector of Acheron. I don't know why I said sector like sector.
Yeah.
Sector.
We got we're fighting He-Man villains now, I guess.
Strider, you run into a red cyborg who is going to kill you for the glory of Shao Kahn.
That's who it is. Yeah, that's right.
Bring
Okay,
it,
yeah.
bitch.
So Strider, you make your way. So Strider, you make your way there, and it's the same shopkeep as last time. The very tall, elegant, high elf woman who just seems to be like writing down in her like store ledger of like recent purchases that were made. She looks up at you, but at the same time down her glasses, and she's got like stereotypical like librarian glasses.
Yeah.
Basically, like how I imagined this elf. I can't remember if I ever gave her a name, but she basically looks like Bayonetta.
Nice.
Sweet. Let's do this.
The woman, the high elf woman looks over at you and just goes, "Ah, I remember you." And she shuts her book. So then.
And I remember you.
Oh, well, that certainly is flattering to hear. And what is it that I can help you with this time?
I wish to do my best to purchase that trinket that you've been holding on for me.
I can certainly see if I still have it available. In fact, as I recall, I was specially holding it for you. And she just kind of like very elegantly like steps away from the counter and walks over to one of the shelves behind. Things are silent for a bit before you see her coming back with a small little red box in her hands. And this is like a very high quality little velvet red box.
Yeah.
And of course that's your response. Yeah!
Yeah! Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah! Fucking jewelry and shit! Ah!
Pretty much.
All right.
25 carats, motherfucker. All right.
Oh, I love you guys.
And we love you.
Elf Bayonetta walks back up. What else am I gonna call her? Walks up to the counter and she gently.
Cereza? Obviously. Sorry. All right.
No, that is fair. Cereza walks up to the counter and gently opens up the little velvet box and shows you the extremely high quality gold and platinum bracelet that you see before you. And yes, this is the same one as before.
And Strider looks at it and just goes, "Yep, that certainly is the one that we looked at last time."
Very well, then. She shuts the box. Now then, since you seem so confident, I am assuming that now the issue of payment can actually be resolved this time.
Well, hopefully it is. I did recently get paid from my last mission. If depending upon the price of this item, I cannot fully recall what you had set forth, but if not the full payment, perhaps we can do multiple payments and I bring back a certain amount of my payment from the missions for a certain amount of times. Or we can do something else.
Kind of like we could develop a plan for my payments.
Payment plan.
Like a sorta payment plan. I was trying to be funny.
A salary, if you will.
I'm gonna get my jewelry at that one store. What's that store called again? The one with the big target on front?
The one store that sells walls.
Yeah, the mart with the walls.
The mart with the walls.
I was very disappointed when I walked in and they weren't selling walls.
I'm gonna get that store from that one market. It's a very, very fresh market. What's it called again? I think a guy named Pete runs it or something. Anywho, Cereza looks at you silently as you say that, and then she just kind of looks at the box. You say that this is for a special someone. And then she leans in very close, almost threateningly so.
Uh-huh.
No hesitation.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. He's not moving. He's still looking
He's
at
just
her.
still grinning like an idiot.
Oh yeah, he's still grinning like an idiot. Because this Strydar, come on.
We must never let him and Dastin meet. Tell me something, Mr. Strider. What exactly do you think this bracelet is worth?
Strydar looks down at the bracelet, then looks back up at her and just goes, To be honest, ma'am, I don't know much about gold and jewels or things of that nature. I've never put much stock in their value. However, what I do know is the woman who I'm buying this for, she deserves to have the world.
I'm sorry. I meant to take. I do plan to take this seriously. It's just that, unfortunately, Josh, when you said that moment in Forrest Gump, like popped up in my head of, I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is.
Is Jenna.
Jenna.
Pretty much, yeah. Jenna.
Now, I'm not saying Strider has like the intelligence level of Forrest Gump, but that moment just stuck out in my head, and I love that.
Oh yeah, it's a very similar type of deal. I get it.
So she doesn't treat Strider like Jenny did.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We have yet to see this Amaya person in the campaign yet. That being said, though, she's listening to that, and Strider, I would like you to roll a persuasion check.
All right, let's see if it goes better than last time. No, it's still 10 because, D&D Beyond hates me. But I do have inspiration. Can I re-roll?
Wait, when did you get inspiration?
You gave it to me. At least it has a little inspiration thingy on there, and it only gets on there.
I think I did with one of my sonnets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then for the sake of inspiration, but this is outside combat, I will allow you one more reroll, but no matter what this reroll is, this has to be the accepted result.
That's perfectly fine. That's even worse as a 4.
Oh, God!
Yeah, your inspiration sucks there, sir.
Yeah.
Nah, you've just come down from it because you had the bath and you washed away all the bloody grossness.
I know.
And that was what was really inspiring you.
I love how, persuasion is like literally one of my worst because it's a +1.
Oh. Cereza just kind of gives you a look of, she doesn't say anything, but it's a piercing gaze that basically says, really? I think you can come up with something a little better than that. She doesn't say that, but that's the feeling that she's giving off of.
If you want to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mother.
Well, off to visit your mother.
It was a Bayonetta reference. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking Team Fortress 2. All right. Well, unfortunately, she sets the box down, but she's not taking her hand off of it.
Of course not.
Well, if that is truly how you feel, I am willing to make a deal with you. The original price of this bracelet is about 600 gold pieces. However, I am willing to trade for other goods and trinkets. I am willing to make a trade of 200 gold pieces. And then her eyes move from you and they start looking at Zethar.
Oh.
And some of his scales.
Zethar looks at the bracelet, looks at Stridar, and he just hops down and goes over to the tip of his tails and then just takes off a couple of them and places them down, and then looks up at the lady and just goes, "If you knew who this was, you would understand." And then he just goes back and crawls up upon his
Don't
shoulder.
dragons naturally shed?
Shoulder. They can, but like he's still very young and it's not during his shedding time yet.
I
So-
thought dragons shed scales like
So
other animals shed fur.
I mean, it all depends on the lore too. I think.
Well,
Kind of like
no, continue.
up to you.
Uh,
No, like for me, like I don't know.
It's totally fine. In this case, however, because Zethar is still a very young dragon, relatively speaking, these scales are in a state where they're like always fresh and they're never to be molted. So when Zethar yanked those scales out, it did hurt. And it did kind of count as kind of injuring himself. Not enough to like decrease his hit points or anything, but it hurt. Now that being said, though, the moment those golden scales kind of get plopped down on the desk, you see Cereza's eyes kind of sparkle a bit. And then she looks back up at you, Strider, and says, "Well then, I do believe we have a deal." And then she takes 200 gold from you, as well as the scales, and then she slides over the box to you.
All right. I just took those 200 out of my currency, by the way,
All right.
just so you know.
So, Strider, you finally have an elegant bracelet to give to your lady. Now, we will get back to you in a moment. We're now going to turn the camera over to Malice. Malice, you have finished your bath. Both you and Fizzgig are completely clean. What is it that you wish to do?
I think if we're going to be staying at this place for a while, then they should go back to their old village and pick up most of their stuff from their little hut.
All right, not a problem. So after drying yourselves off and getting dressed, you're going to make an excursion out into the wilderness to return to your village to basically grab things so you can officially move into Acheron. Now, just answer me. Now, just answer me this: the 5 sections of Acheron. We have the. Let me see here. We have like the Firelands, the desert, the swamp, the tundra, and the jungle. Which
It'd be the tundra.
your village is in the tundra? Okay. So, Malice, you make your way out after bundling yourself up adequately enough, and you make your way out into the tundra to grab your things. Now, considering that's what you're doing, we're now going to put a pause on you. I'm sorry it was a little fast, but
It's okay.
don't worry, I have a plan. Dath, we're now going to get back to you here. Now, you specifically were looking for prisoner records of the Grey
Well, criminal records.
Are you
In fact, actually, prisoners wouldn't help me with what I'm trying to do. So
now when you say criminal records, what do you mean specifically? Like Greyblades who were formerly criminals, or Greyblades who then became criminals?
I mean people who cause
Really?
problems for the Greyblades.
So people who they themselves are not Greyblades, but
Well, they might be.
but they end up causing problems for the Greyblades.
Yeah, just anybody who has any sort of connection to the Greyblades, be it they are former members or they're just Hellraisers,
Okay.
basically, for the Greyblades.
All right. So for this one, roll me an investigation check.
All right. Let's see.
Oh,
That's a 7.
all right. No, a 7 is not bad because a 7 doesn't necessarily mean that you failed in searching for your answers. It just means that there wasn't a lot of information to find.
Alright.
The thing about Acheron is that it is such a very small
Switching dice.
The thing about Acheron is that it is a very small and intimate community that very rarely are there times when people would actually commit to a life of criminal activities. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen though. But it just happens very rarely. Now that being said though, while you aren't able to really find any dedicated reports of actual named individuals, you do see some reports here or there that seem to make reference to little pocket cells scattered throughout the city that seem to be holding like an underground slave trade. Basically people that have debts to pay, and they're kind of forced into indentured servitude to hopefully pay off these debts, but they're just always put in a situation where they could never possibly pay off that debt, and that servitude just basically turns into full-blown slavery. There have been a couple events where the local city guard would find these organizations and they would break them off, and everyone involved would be arrested, and the people forced into that slavery would basically be freed, and they would be given another chance to basically try to actually pay off their debt for real. Again, you just see events that this has happened in the city, but unfortunately they never really put any named individuals in the book.
Okay. Now, can I look specifically for people who have been kicked out of the Greyblades?
Specifically people who have been kicked out of the Greyblades. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Roll me another investigation.
Okay, with the different dice. That is much more like it. That is a 21.
Awesome. All right. Now, again, it's just as rare as criminal activity in Acheron. To be a member of the Greyblades in this society is considered a very great honor, and it's very rarely do... Is everything okay? He's around the corner. Carly was just out in the room looking for our other cat.
No, okay.
Again, the times when people have been kicked out of the Greyblades have been few and far and in between. You're more likely to read up on people who have successfully retired out of active service, but very rarely has anyone ever screwed up so much that they actually got kicked out of the Greyblades.
That is terrifying, but okay.
Now that being said, though, again, it's something that has happened just pretty rarely. You do see a couple individuals here who seem to have, they got kicked out of the Greyblades, but it wasn't due to any, negligence or any actual, malice intent. They seem to have gotten kicked out, just out of sheer incompetence. Like, they just did not have what it takes, some things got screwed up, and they ended up ruffling too many feathers. Coincidentally, these individuals, there's 3 of them, they all got kicked out at basically the same time. They got kicked out, but no other charges were really put upon them, so they never served time, nor were they ever imprisoned. They were basically just kicked out. They were basically kicked out, dishonorably discharged out of the guild.
Do they have names?
They do have names. You kind of flip through a few pages, and let me just see here. All right, here we go. So yes, there are 3 of them, and they do have names. The first one is Vicken. The third one is Charles. Although apparently that entry seems to imply that may not be that individual's real name, but his chosen name. And the third one simply goes by the name Eric. It looks like Vicken might be the only one that has a real name, and the other 2 are possibly aliases. Or rather, it's just like chosen nicknames or something. The paper doesn't really seem to describe which is which, but apparently these 3 were friends, and they just unfortunately just did not fit in with the Greyblades, and thus they got kicked out after too much incompetence.
Okay. I think I'm good. I am going to hit the pub.
All right. So with that being said, now Lorelei, we come back to you. So after another couple instances where gemstone crabs were trying to eat your clothes, you were successfully able to defend your clothes, though a couple pieces are missing here and there. Now that being said, though,
Did they touch the bag?
one of them tried, but you were able to stop it before it got to the bag. Now that being said,
Nobody touches the bag.
Nobody touches the bag.
I hope you don't mind if I have my satchel with me. Don't look inside the satchel. Lorelei, you are fully cleaned and dressed. And despite still being dressed kind of like a wild Outlander woman, you actually surprisingly clean up very well. Now, with that being done, what is the next thing that you decide to do?
Well, I am going to walk up to the reception desk again.
All right.
Because everybody's kind of scattered.
All right. You run into that same very short Owlin who is still getting all flustered. And he goes like, hello. How can I help you, miss?
Yes. Hello, Hello, Mr. Huntington.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we? Wait a minute. Oh, you cleaned yourself up? Actually, I'm sorry. The first time I saw you, you were covered in guts.
Yes, those underground small lakes were very nice.
Oh, the hot springs. Yes, I'm glad you were able to partake of them. They normally get very busy around this time, so you got lucky.
There were some crabs down there that weren't very nice, but that's okay.
Oh, the jewel crabs. Yes, unfortunately, they are the native wildlife. They come in from the outside. Just leave
They try to eat my clothes.
Ah, yes, they're scavengers. They like going after corpses and such. They're carnivorous, but they never hunt. So they must have smelled the guts and entrails on your clothes. That's really what that was. They're perfectly harmless, though. They're just annoying.
Okay. So do we have like a set schedule or time I have to be back, or how does this work?
Oh, you don't necessarily have a schedule or shifts you have to maintain. All of the quests that we have on our post board are completely voluntary. You choose when you want to work. That being the case, though, it is expected that you do work so that you can keep your status as a Greyblade.
Got it. Okay. Well, you see the group of people I was with. Tell them I went back to the jungle, but I will be back. Probably tomorrow.
Back to the jungle. Not a problem. If I see them, I will let them know. Who is the rest of your team?
Do you know a man named Strider?
Strider? Oh, that one.
Hey!
Yes, I know Stridar, the overly eccentric, overly ambitious one.
Yes, him.
Garage student. Yes, I know him.
And I was with a half-orc named Death. And I was with another tiefling named Malice. And then, I'm sorry, is Kara a human? Or is she an elf?
Half elf.
And then I was with an elf named Kira. And then I was with a gnome named...
Elma!
Thank you. Named Elma.
All right, I will make a note of that, and if I see them, I will let them know. By the way,
Hi, Draga.
Hi, Draga. We love you.
She's playing with her little galaxy thing again.
Aw.
I love it.
All right, so Lorelai, you venture out into the jungle. For the sake of expediency, we're gonna say that you are able to successfully make it to your old camp. We just know that it's in the jungle. I won't necessarily reveal where exactly it is in the jungle. But you are able to recover all of your things. Super easy to do. You know the jungle like the back of your hand. Oh no!
Oh,
I was literally just about to talk to Malice.
Sorry. I don't know why that happened, but Zoom just restarted itself.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
That's totally fine. We still got you right here. All right, Malice. Also for you, for the sake of expediency, you begin to, you are able to gather up all your things in your tundra village. And everyone here who lives here knows that, basically knows the situation. You informed them, so no one's basically going to stop you from leaving your home. Because a lot of the people that live here do recognize that being a Greyblade is a great honor. So they're actually helping you. Now that all being said, we're going to cut forward a bit. There is one last thing that I'm going to check here, and then we're going to move on to later this evening. And then this is going to be the last little section of... Oh, hello!
She wants to show you guys her new toy.
I love it. I'm going to do one last little thing here and one last check, and then we're going to move on to this evening. Kara, are you there?
Rude. Not quite yet. She'll be back in a second.
All right. Well, while she's doing that, we'll quickly go over to Strider for a moment. Strider, I would like you to roll me one perception check with advantage. You are basically using your perception to look around the city for Amaya.
That would be a 25 is the highest for that.
A 25. You scour the city. You are looking everywhere. And you cannot seem to find her.
Oh, no.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's not here. Amaya is someone who is definitely someone who goes about the city. She apparently does working for some of the authority figures of the city. She's basically like one of the city's administrators. Now that being said, though, well, actually, hold on. What did I have in my notes? Let me make sure here.
And Leah is back, so
Okay, I just had to make sure that I wasn't skipping over everything. Okay, so typically, back in the past, you were always able to sometimes run into Amaya whenever she's doing some work, helping out some people who are just a little down on their luck. She used to basically work as like an outreach figure and would help direct people to better facilities so that they can help get back up on their feet. She's basically kind of like a social worker for Acheron. That being the case, though, you're not able to find her today of all days. And typically she likes to come out sometimes, especially if she knows that she's possibly going to run into you. This time, however, she doesn't seem to be around.
Stridar kind of just looks around and through all this, and then he looks to Zephyr, and he just goes, "Hey, little buddy, why don't you fly around and see if you can't spot her anywhere from up above?"
All right, Zethar definitely agrees to that, and he flies up into the air. He is going to do his own. He's going to do his own perception check. Oh, he rolled pretty high. Zethar, he flaps around. He kind of flies around the higher areas, and you see him kind of stop for a moment and kind of look around as if he's trying to keep track of something. And then he flies back down to you, and he kind of like lands on your shoulder, turns his head toward you, and he says, "It's very odd. I have her scent, but for some reason, it's not normally where it typically is."
Where is it, old buddy?
It's much higher than where she typically lives and works.
Huh. Well, if that's where she is, that's where we'll go.
All right, so you are going to try and go up there.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, though, the elevator itself can go up to that floor. However, before it can start crossing that threshold to those floors, you feel the elevator suddenly stop. And at that moment, the gate of the elevator suddenly opens, and a couple guards actually walk in. They look at you, Strider, and they just say, "Invite, please."
Invite. Well, I'm here to see Lady Amaya.
Is she expecting you?
She should be, yes.
Do you know where this Lady Amaya is?
I just know that she's up there above. I don't know her exact location.
You see the guard. Check with the other guard. Hey, check if we have an Amaya working today. The guard basically walks away and goes around the corner out of sight. This other guard is just standing there, and he is just staring at you. And he's wearing like full plate armor. You can only really see his eyes, and he's just staring at you. And this guy's like a whole head taller.
Question, my dear man. How hot does it get in plate mail? Just like throughout the day. Like, I'm actually genuinely curious. Like, do you guys get like breaks to be able to take it off for a little bit and cool down?
Unfortunately, the guard does not respond. He is still just staring at you.
He just Strider like gets his like his his like water pouch and just like of course the top just goes, do you need some water? Like, I can only imagine how hot it would be in plate mail this all day.
The guard still does not respond. He is still just staring at you.
Freaking like British guard in front of like Buckingham Palace. My word. All right.
At that moment, the second guard finally walks by, and you overhear him talk to the other guy. "We were able to find a Miss Lady Amaya. She is currently working today." And the other guard takes this and then looks to you and says, "Unfortunately, Lady Amaya is busy, but she should be expected to be freed up later this evening. Should I take a message to her?"
Strider just kind of like thinks on it for a minute and just goes, "Tell her to come by where we had our first date. She'll know what it means." And he bows. He says, "Thank you, gentlemen. I hope you're able to get a break and get out of that heavy armor and cool off for a bit." And then he just waves and starts head off towards the little bit out of town, kind of down by like one of the lakes that's probably nearby.
All right. Meanwhile, at that time, Kara, you are still at Voight's Manor, correct?
Yes.
All right. Going back to you for a moment, you're just kind of spending some time, you're kind of killing time for a moment, and you hear the doors open, and you hear the ever-classic squeaking of wheels against the pristine tile floor, and you know that your Uncle Voight has finally returned home. You go out to greet him, and that's when you see someone else with him. Someone who you have seen before, but have never personally met. This guy is... He is quite large, and you recognize him from the festival. The Year's End Festival. He was one of the very up-top authority figures, along with Gahoon, the Regent Lord of Acheron itself. You see standing right next to Voight's wheelchair, he goes by the name Mogul. He is a giant Loxodon of a man. However, he is a very strange Loxodon. Typically, Loxodons are very akin to normal... dang it, what happened to my lamp? Apparently, Loxodon are very much like normal elephants, where they just have gray, hairless skin. This one, however, his entire body as an elephant is completely covered in brown fur. And he's also wearing a very pristine, elegant white robe, and he has a cane with him. Before you fully come down to greet your uncle, who is looking quite exhausted, you see the two of them talking with each other. Voight is looking very not pleased to be here right now, while Mogul is just being stoic the entire time. And you over here, I understand that these interactions that we have are not to your liking, but I assure you that they are completely necessary. Look, I know that they're necessary, but at the same time, I honestly don't know what it is that I can personally help you with. Like, you've seen all of my research, you have all of the records of my findings. There's not much that I can offer you. Oh, Mr. Voight. In time, you will learn that there are still quite a few things that you have yet to offer for our dear city. You do have a good night now, and as he turns around, even though you never made your presence known, Kara, as he turns around, he looks up at you, and he gives like a smile and a nod before he turns around and he walks out of the manor.
Yeah, Kara not smiling back at him. She's actually giving him like a your sus look.
When Mogul finally leaves the manor, the doors close, and you just see Voight there, just sitting there like, oh. Niece,
that seemed pleasant.
Sorry.
That seemed pleasant.
You have no idea. He, turns his wheelchair towards you, and he looks up at you. I do apologize that you had to see that. Every once in a while, the city's authority likes to harass me for research that they believe can help better the placement of the city in the great circle of life, or whatever it is that they say. I take it you had a good adventure recently?
Yeah, I mean, the way too optimistic knucklehead, almost got us killed, but whatever, it's fine, we're alive.
Oh dear, I didn't know things were like that. Please, come with me. Let us eat. Will the rest of your team be joining us?
I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't, I'm assuming that they're probably hungry.
All
They all
right.
stick to high heavens as we all did, but you know, hey, it was fine. It's fine. We're still alive, like I said.
Oh, by the way, I would like to know, have you had any more luck with your father's journal?
I haven't really gotten to read that much of it. With the fun little adventure we just came back from, it's strangely written. I don't know my father. I never knew my father would write such cryptic messages.
Yes, unfortunately, your father was not only the eccentric, but the worrywart as well. He never wanted his findings to possibly fall into any rivals' hands, and then they could take the credit for the discovery. So he always had a habit of putting his discoveries down in his secret code, waiting a while, and then he would come out with the big proclamation that he found something. It's just unfortunate that he vanished just recently after his latest discovery, whatever it may be. All we know is that whatever it was that he discovered, he put it down in this journal.
Do you know if he had any kind of cipher?
Unfortunately, a cipher like his would be very, very difficult to find. In fact, he likes to hide things within things, as you know. Still, if there is a cipher, I would think to look in every places that he's been. The good thing about this journal is that while the only things that are not in code are the locations he's been that are public knowledge. Everyone knows that these other places exist, so there's no reason to hide those. You can try checking them out if you'd like.
Yeah, I suppose that would be a good idea. Who knows? Maybe he's hidden something in a place that he's been.
Who knows indeed. Well, if that is the case, come join me. Let us have a meal together. And if your friends do decide to come, then I will make sure to have dinner set out for them as well. Now, after that, we are now finally going to... I do apologize, I'm gonna warn you all ahead of time. This session is gonna be just a tiny bit shorter than normal, but that's because I have the perfect way to end this.
Alright.
Strider.
Yes.
A few hours have passed, and you finally walk out of the city, and you finally make your way to the little space right next to the jungle area, where there was a nice little secluded spot in the beach overlooking the ocean. And this is that spot that you and Amaya have treasured between the two of you for so long. Now, with that said, Strider, I would like you to make a perception check.
Perception.
That
18.
18, all right. Strider, you make it to your spot, and no one is there yet. So, I'm assuming you just stand there waiting for Amaya?
Let's see here. Gotta have something. Do 1 second. Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick here.
No problem.
Strider is going to kind of sit down there by the water and kind of just look up to the sky and kind of just watch as the sky kind of turns closer to the evening and the stars start coming out into the night, and kind of start in his head kind of naming the constellations that he sees.
All right. After some time has passed, you hear footsteps in the sand behind you.
Strider kind of just smiles to himself and he turns back to see who's there.
You see a hooded and cloaked figure. The hood is over the entire head. You cannot see who it is.
Strider kind of stands and looks at them and just goes, "Hello?"
The figure pulls back the hood, and it's Amaya.
Yeah, he is.
And she is looking stressed.
Oh. Strider just goes up to her and doesn't even need to say a word, and he just embraces her in a large hug.
She embraces Strider back a little tighter than usual.
Oh. He, with one hand, kind of just, starts kind of like petting the back of her head and kisses her right there on the middle of the forehead. And
Aww.
He's not saying a word he doesn't need to. He just knows that when she's ready, she'll say what's stressing her out. He's just gonna be there for her.
All right. After a couple moments of this, Amaya finally pulls away from you, Strider, and she is like breathing very hard, and she just looks at you and goes, "You just went out for a hunt, right? Nothing else happened?"
Yeah, we just went out to a hunt, and we got the target. It was a pretty nasty bullet, but we were able to get it done, and we brought it back. What's going on? What's wrong?
A bullet? It was nothing else?
It was just a bullet. It was a very large, unusual bullet, but that was the target that was on the post, and that's what we got.
And you can see her like breathe out a big sigh of relief. Just, okay. And then she wraps you in another giant hug.
Just goes, hey, it's okay. I'm in one piece. What's going on?
She finally takes a moment to like pull away and compose herself for a moment, and you can tell like whatever this may be has really really stressed her out. And she goes, "Okay, look, weird things are happening, and I've been hearing rumors going around the city of strange occurrences happening throughout the city. When the jungle archbeast came out during the festival with that mutilated child of itself, it's something is happening here. I don't know what, but I can just feel it. Something strange is happening on this island. Have you sensed it?"
Strider just looked at her and just nods and just goes, "Yes, I thought it was very weird that the archbeasts were not acting as normal as they were. There was, even before this last hunt, we had an instance where, remind me, wasn't it a owlbear that attacked us that very first time?
Yes, it was an owlbear.
Yeah, Strider there was an owlbear that attacked us, but it was just abnormal, and even Zethar here was concerned over something that dealt with it, and it just something isn't right, and who knows if we'll find the answers, but it's something that I will keep a close eye on during my hunts for the Great Lakes.
Yes, please. Look, I do apologize. I don't know how much time I have out to meet here, but unfortunately my employer has been keeping very close tabs on all of his workers, and it's a very nice job. We're able to do good work, but I don't know, it feels like it's not enough sometimes, and I just heard about you going out to hunt and all the mutilated creatures from before, and I just got so panicked, and she wraps you in a third hug now. And she is like burying her face in your chest.
Yeah, Strider just kind of does the whole shh there. He's holding her tightly and just kissing her on top of her head. Just calmly goes, hand up. You don't have to worry about me. I always come back. You know I always do. There's I've been trained by the best, and there's nothing to worry about. I'll always come back to you no matter what. And he pulls away a little bit and he goes into his pouch and pulls out the box that has the bracelet in it, and he just holds it to her, just goes, take this as my promise that no matter what, I'll always come back to you.
She looks at the bracelet, and her eyes just fucking light up, and she just goes, "Oh, Strider, where did you find this?" And you see her about to reach for it, and but just before she does, you both feel the earth shake. And it's not like an earthquake, but more like just that one moment of shakiness where something just landed hard on the ground. And you hear within the trees a deep guttural roar. And Strider, you recognize this roar. It's the jungle archbeast, the four-armed ape.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
And he does not sound happy.
Stridar puts himself between the jungle archbeast and the Maya and just goes, "My love, go warn the Great Lakes. Go now."
And that is where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Oh.
Strider's fucked.
Shit.
Sorry, it was nice knowing you.
He's not gonna fight it. He's just making sure that Maya gets back safe first and foremost.
Well, he's better than Malice because she would square up.
Oh, Strider, thank you for your heroic sacrifice. Heroic sacrifice, you bitch! I'm coming with you.
He's just like, you go fast, you go now, because Strider is not going to be going straight to the Great Lakes. He's going to be going back to Kara's uncle's place, hopefully to find a good amount of the party there.
Right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, be it on Twitch or on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, just one last little Oliver, what are you doing back there?
I see his tail.
Oh jeez! Oh jeez!
There he go.
Dinah, get your nose out of Oliver's ass.
No, I must make sure the child is good.
That's not part of the deal, Dad.
I am altering the deal.
I don't remember signing that contract.
The other day, I look over and I just see Dinah going to town on his little booty, trying to clean it. And I was like, what are you doing?
He's being man.
He's being mad.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that being said, though, guys, one last little minor announcement.
I was about to say, my bad.
One last little minor announcement. This is possibly going to be the final session that we do on Twitch. Next session, which will be next week's The Great Poison, will be streamed on YouTube Live. We're gonna run a little experiment to see if YouTube works out a little bit better for us in terms of watchers and followers and possibly subscribers. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Until then, guys, thank you so much for watching this session. We will see you all next time. Bye!
Bye.